So you finally have some extra money and you're thinking about putting it somewhere other than your savings account. Maybe an investment. But with so many options out there in the world, you might not know where to start. Well, hopefully we can help you out. How's it going, everybody? My name is Zaldi with Strategic Wealth Designers, and this is Investing Simply Explained in less than 5 minutes. So, to know what to invest in, let's first define what investing is. I like to compare this as if you are planting crops. Your investment is the seed that you plant, then in time that seed grows to produce fruits and vegetables, and then you can either use that to plant more seeds or you can harvest them. Now, there are also some crops such as carrots and broccoli that only take 2 months to grow. Meanwhile, a crop like asparagus can take about 1 to 2 years before you can harvest. Now, just like investments, some options offer short-term earnings while others offer long-term earnings. Going back to crops, veggies like peas and green beans are easier to grow, while crops such as artichokes and onions are a little bit harder to maintain and they take a little bit more work. Just as some investments are easy to get into, while others are a little bit riskier and would take some additional practice and training to be able to work with. And for both crops and investments, if you don't know what you're doing, there's a good chance you'll kill the plant before you can enjoy it. So now that you got a crash course, what kind of investments can you get into? Well, first, let's start with stocks. If you ever wanted to say you own part of a company, this is the way to go. A publicly owned company means that almost anyone can use their own money to buy a share of the company. Then, if it's a good business, that company will use that money to make themselves better. As they get better, your share of the company also grows so that when you're ready to harvest, you'll hopefully come out with more money than when you came in. This method is definitely a long-term option that involves some risk, but there are shorter-term alternatives where you try to predict the stock market to try and make a quick buck. But that's called stock trading, and like growing artichokes and onions, you need to know what you're doing before you go down that path. Up next is bonds. Simply put, bonds are like loaning someone money with interest, but instead of loaning it to a person, you're loaning it to a company or the government. How it works is you loan the money with an agreement that they have to pay you back in a certain amount of time. To help ease your mind, they agree to pay you interest for your loan. Once time is up, you would get your money back plus whatever you got in interest. Typically, if done right, bonds are a less volatile play than stocks. So if you can't handle the ups and downs, bonds might be the thing for you. Moving on to mutual funds. So now that you know what stocks and bonds are, let's say each one of them are individual vegetables. Well, the mutual fund is a salad. It's a combination of stocks, bonds, as well as many other things. What you're buying, though, is just a portion of that salad. And as each stock or bond grows in price, the mutual fund grows, and the value of your shares of that fund will also follow suit. Now, one thing to keep in mind, since the stocks and bonds in the mutual funds are managed by a professional, you might have to pay a fee. So make sure that you do your research so that the fees in those funds don't overtake your returns on the investment. Now, those are 3 of the most popular investments that you can get into. There are dozens and dozens of other ones, and if you want us to explain a bit more on those, comment what you want to know below, and we'll make a future video out of it. With that being said, if you want to learn more about other financial topics, subscribe to our YouTube page as well as follow us on Facebook and Instagram. My name is Zaldi, and we'll see you in the next video.